Episode 6. Man, there's a lot of stuff happening here, but also I think the shocking revelation towards the end was something I was not prepared for, and I don't know where they're going with this. Like I've seen a fairly linear nature in the past few episodes that was heading in a direction that I thought it was heading, and all of a sudden we've taken a turn that I was like, oh, hang on a second, that's not where I thought it was going. So they're doing a good job of spinning their own unique version of the Foundation books. That's keeping me on my toes, which is great. I love it. And I know that for those of you who've been following along, I feel like this episode's going to be the one that kind of breaks a little bit because we were following this linear path line, and all of a sudden everything gets thrown into question here. So if you haven't watched the episode yet, I'm a couple days out, so theoretically you've seen it. But on the off chance that you haven't, don't forget to go watch the episode first because I am going to spoil all the things here as we move forward. So I'm going to give you a countdown. And before I do, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update as I continue to review this show and many others. Don't forget to check out the playlists. We do video games and other stuff. There's a Discord. Links are down below. But without further ado, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You've had your warning. I am now spoiling all the things. So the main point, the main central theme to this episode is the planet they landed on with are they called the mentalitats? I don't actually know the name of what they're calling themselves, but it's the telepaths, and this is what Harry thought was going to be part of the second foundation, only to find out that the lady who's running the show, which we found out at the end of last episode, she has very nefarious designs, and she wants the Prime Radiant to destroy it because in her mind, her people have been persecuted by normies, by the normals, for so long that she now wants to extract her revenge on everybody, and she wants to wipe them all out. At the same time, she sees in Gale's mind the future and the mule and what he poses, and she claims that she wants to help Gale avoid that and make sure that she's capable of handling that threat, and supposedly, theoretically, wants to help Gale become stronger and face that threat. And she doesn't trust Harry, and screw the Foundation, and screw psychohistory and all that stuff. Let's just survive and have our people survive. And in the process, there's a confrontation that happens where she offers something to Gale, and gets in her mind, and Gale reacts, and it turns out that Gale also has these telepathic abilities, not just to see things but also to project and defend herself with her mind. um, so that's an interesting thing. However, as we come to find out over the course of the episode, they put they can put anything they want into your minds, and so they are projecting into the minds of Gale and her daughter that Harry decided to leave them and get on the ship and just abandon them and to avoid confrontation and everything else. If they want to be part of the telepaths, do that. When in reality, she's got him in a uh, chained to this tide pool, and she drowns him. And during the course of him drowning, he starts to have these memories of his past and his wife, and everything that led up to the creation of the Prime Radiant. And it's a very tragic story of him looking back at the relationship he had with his wife and how she was pregnant, and she helped him design the Prime Radiant while they were university professors outside of Trantor. And the head of that school was so far up the Empire's ass that she was given a directive to either get the Radiant or be killed because Empire wanted it, because he was already starting. Seldon was already started to make waves, and the ultimatum that she gave him and his wife was, either give me the Prime Radiant, or you can go and take everything to Trantor, to the planet, and you can go be at that university where you're up against the ribs of the Empire. And Harry doesn't want to go because he feels like he'll be, watched, and he's right. But in the course of all of this, the university teacher feels like she doesn't have a choice. She kidnaps Harry's wife and threatens her, and in the process accidentally kills her. We don't know exactly how that goes down. We only hear her version of it, but Harry knows what happens because the heartbeat monitor that his wife gave him, sharing the heartbeat of her and and the baby, just goes dead. And it's he knows, and he does get his revenge on her, and then he ends up on Trantor. And this was the whole, Empire took this away from me, so I'm gonna attempt to take everything away from Empire. That's an interesting plot. However, I think my favorite moment of this episode comes when Empire is introducing Queen Dominion to his people in front of this massive crowd at this arena, and he introduces her as the new empress, the first in all these centuries and everything else. And she takes it upon herself, and he gets livid. It's such an awesome scene. She steps up, and he didn't give her permission to do this, and he turns around with his look on his face as she begins to give this speech about here, I welcome you, thank you for your love and attention. I promise you, I am you, you are me, and I want to offer you everything I can. I am here for the people. All of your needs, all of your desires, all of your concerns, we are open to receiving them. We will do everything we can to make Empire a better place for you and for the people. And the look on Day's face as she's giving this speech, which she wasn't supposed to do. It's outside of his control. He realizes very quickly that he has maybe been outmatched and outwitted. And there's this moment when he goes to extend his hand to her because he wants her to come down off the pedestal and join him to leave, and she just stands there and looks at him with all the adoring eyes of the crowd on her, and he, for the first time I think in his life, feels like he made a mistake and feels nervous and panic, and he realizes, oh crap, what have I done? Now I can't get rid of her because she's loved by the people, and she's now taking my power away from me. And he's livid when she won't accept his hand, and he gives her this look, and then he gives her another look, and he's like, come on, get down from there. And she graciously accepts, but she knows and he knows that in this moment he does not hold the power, she does. And it's a very crucial moment in the tumbling of the empire. So very well portrayed, that scene, and also the look he gives. Is it Demerzel, the android? Like, I don't know if he's doubting or what the case may be, but also watching Dusk and Dawn, it's just coming together very, very well. I think the only other subplot here was the two clerics arriving on Trantor, having a moment in the hotel, and then the secret police show up and put them in these, silence helmets and take them off to prison. And or at least we assume that's where they're going. And also our prodigal boy, who's off in space on another mission, and he winds up waking up and getting a rude awakening with a spacer ship, which is really cool. So I'm interested to see where that's going to go as well. Great episode. This one took the threads that were starting to get, sort of put together from the last few episodes, and it did sort of continue a couple storylines, but also we now have new threads because we don't actually know that Harry dies. I don't know if that's true or not, but the end shot is him in this under the water looking up, and it looks like he's dead, and I don't know if that's actually true or not. If maybe I just don't know. We just don't know. But it was him having this memory of arriving on Trantor and entering the lion's den and then fade to black. So yeah, interesting to see where this is going to go. We've got a few more episodes left in this season, but I feel like we've got a pretty good handle on where things are right now. So again, a good episode. I wouldn't give this one as high of ratings as previous ones because it did. It just this was a slower episode, so I'd probably give it like a 7 or 8 out of 10 as opposed to previous episodes where we had a little more. Um, but that's all personal preference. It doesn't really matter so much. The visuals in this episode were amazing. Really, I think more so than previous episodes. But the VFX in this show are just stunning. Music is amazing. It just really is a good show overall. So I'm happy with it. Can't wait to see the next episode. Love to hear your thoughts. Drop them down below. Like, sub, hit the bell icon. We'll see everybody in the next one.